Okay, on this one, guys, I'm going to walk you through my collection and show you some of the pieces that I like.
One of our questions is, aside from your family, who sees the collection?
Man, well, I do share it with my group every so often. The
Well, I
Vintage
mean, when people
Alliance.
come there and actually in person and see the collection, and maybe they're not Star Wars fans, but they show.
Right. Gosh. Well, yeah. So, I mean, my friends see it. They think it's cool. Most of my friends think it's cool. Family has seen it. I remember we actually, before the market dipped, we were thinking of selling the home and we put it on the market for a short period of time, right after the height and right before the dip. So it was like we were kind of floating, like Leia in The Last Jedi, right? Which was a terrible scene. I acknowledge that. Probably worst Star Wars scene, Leia, flying through space. Still, whatever. But I actually people would see the collection and make comments, and I would stay here sometimes because I was so mad that people were walking through my house, and I didn't like showing the house. We didn't need to sell it, but we're like, yeah, let's see what the market does. Maybe we'll move to Seattle or something. And I I heard the lady say, "You see those Star Wars in there?" They were like in the bathroom, and he's like, "Yeah, it's embarrassing." I almost got up. I was like kind of mad, to be honest. I almost got up and said, "Well, you know what's embarrassing? Me kicking you out of this home. I don't want you to get out of here." Like I was so close. Because I mean, dude, I've got a temper for sure, and like I can be really witty, but I try my hardest to bite my tongue. But yeah, I was like, it's not. I'm like, oh, that guy came in, dissed my Star Wars collection. What a guy.
He didn't have the appreciation. So,
No.
you're obviously into it kind of as a business. Would you say that you go about it as an obsession? Is it a compulsion? You personally, are you budgeted? Are you under control? Are you out of control?
Um, Goodness gracious, man. Love these questions. Wow. That's heavy. Well, I'm out of control, man.
Well, I
Um,
am. I admit it. My name's Jim, and I have a problem.
right. Well, I mean, that's what we have, the Collector Alliance commercial, and we're all in a circle, and we have our robot, telling us how to live our life, and we're fighting the robot. And anyway, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Jim,
I
but
haven't seen it yet.
you gotta watch. He's got to watch the full version.
Okay.
He's got to watch the full version. But um, I'm very hyper focused on things, like to a weird degree, and I think it's probably adult ADHD, like high functioning adult ADHD. Maybe I'm on the spectrum. I don't know. But when I get into stuff, like I am like just like I'm so in it, and people don't understand why I am the way I am. It's like I've been this way with music in my life, where 10 years is like music or die. I will die if I don't make it in music, right? Like, so I had to get signed to a major recording company, and I did, right? And then I realized, oh, the recording companies suck, and they suck the life and soul out of you. And dang it, I realized I couldn't change the world like Lennon did. They would write songs, they would dress me, and they'd make me a flower boy, and that wasn't what I was into. But it's I don't know. I think I balance being pragmatic along with being obsessed, along with being inspired, along with just having a lot of fun.
There,
Uh,
that's the key.
I
As long
just
as
have a
you're
lot of
having
fun.
fun.
There's a lot of drama in the Star Wars realm. And when you monitor groups, there's people that have problems, and if you help one person, the other is mad at you. If you help this person, you know what I mean? So there's always some fear of chaos that you're trying to organize, and you can't do it all, and you just have to learn to accept it and learn to take the good with the bad to still make it fun.
Um, I've got three, not final questions, but three questions that are similar to each other. What is your favorite item that you have?
Dang, man, so many are so cool. Well, the Han 65C.
You've mentioned that a few times, yes.
That would be a mock that I would not sell ever. That I would like, like let's say like my colonoscopy didn't go so well the other month, right? And I found that it's not gonna we're not gonna be
why I'm avoiding my 60th one, and I'm now gonna be 65.
Dude, I didn't, the night before sucks, right? But then you go in.
Oh, that's the worst tasting stuff in the world.
It is, but they knock you out the next day, and
yes.
And when you wake up, you're like, I was stoked, man. I'm like, man, hey, this. Give me more of that stuff. I like this stuff. I have to do it. It's smart, but they not they, but Han 65C is by far just one of my favorite. I'm going to tell you the pieces I keep. I keep a stormtrooper mock, a biker scout mock, and a snowtrooper mock, because I just love Imperials. And I keep my display with my Imperial shuttle.
When I got back into collecting, this is kind of where it all started. I just wanted to build this diorama here.
And it's not even the most expensive pieces. They're just like Han Solo because of who he is, how bad he is, how cool that mock is, the Imperial mock, the 3 Imperial mock, and that display. And honestly, I'd feel like that's rad to have that stuff, right? And to display that stuff. So there's also one really special item that I kept from my original collection, and it's just a standard Yoda that my grandmother gave me. And when I was younger, and I kept that piece, even when I sold my collection, I'm like, I'm not selling that. I'm not going to sell that. So I don't even know where I put that Yoda or how I kept it all these years. I don't even know, but yeah, so I have that Yoda, but that Yoda is stored away.
And speaking of Imperials, I also see a full-size stormtrooper back there. What's the story?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Come across that?
Well, I felt like I needed one additional like non-Jedi something going on, and the ridiculousness of having a full-size stormtrooper is hilarious, and I just love ridiculousness, right? Like the more ridiculous you can be, the better. Like putting a big ass like fake horse in front of your lawn with the saddle, right? It's just like, think it enormous, right? Yeah, like that enormous Vader. It's like ridiculous, right? So I saw some of these, and I bought the set, and then I bought the mannequin on Amazon. And the mannequin came, and this mannequin's really eerie, no head, really, or no, it has a head, I'm sorry, but you can take the head off. And it was upstairs for a while, and just kind of by my door to come downstairs. Every time I turn the corner, it's freaked me out.
Yeah.
It was this dark figure, so I was like, spooked every time. But yeah, so I don't know. I just had to get it. It's a Novos, so it's 501st. I don't know if you know the 501st. It's 501st approved. I bought boots that fit me. I wore the outfit one time, and I was like, yeah, I should have gone with the Emperor's Royal Guard, because it's so much easier to put on and take off.
Is this 501st?
No, 501st. You could tell them what 501st is.
Well, 501st is a group of, I think a lot of them were actual stormtroopers that played in the movies, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay.
And they kind of get together and
actors,
yeah. The 501st, James, maybe you can add a little to that.
Yeah, and you could join this club, and you can be a part of, like, 501st could go to like people's homes or events or whatever, and just kind of conglomerate as stormtroopers. And but he was actually trying to talk me into joining it because I have one, and I'm like, my time is so limited. It would actually be kind of sweet to be a bona fide stormtrooper, right? I don't know.
I always thought if I got invited to a Halloween party and had the money to buy a costume, I would get a stormtrooper costume.
Oh yeah. No, they're sweet. I have a Han Solo costume for Halloween, so that's
okay. So that kind of already answered my next question, and I already know what the answer is anyhow. But who is your favorite character?
Yeah, I think Han Solo. He gets the chick, man. Yeah. Who doesn't want to be Han Solo, right? And I don't know, he's just, yeah.
And we have a new question that we've added to the list, and that is, if you had the opportunity, who would you like to be in the Star Wars world?
Oh.
Han Solo?
No, I wouldn't want to be Han Solo.
Okay.
Maybe gosh, that's a real tough one. I mean, honestly, potentially.
Good question then.
Yeah, I mean, do you have to follow their storyline? Like,
you can be any character you want, and you can make up your own character.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, to actually be Anakin or Luke would be pretty intense, right? You learn what you possess, you learn how to utilize it. Anakin's story is heavy, probably a little too heavy. I wouldn't want to have taken out like little ones, and maybe Luke. Mm-hmm. That's just experiencing that.
It sounds like, James, you definitely would want to be a Jedi. You would want some of those Jedi powers.
Yeah, for sure. And be on the right side, right? Definitely be on the right side.
And then I'm going to ask a few questions in regards to some of the videos that you sent to us. One of them, you were showing us a number of your carded figures in those acrylic boxes or acrylic cases.
Say that one more time.
You had a number of items that are in those acrylic boxes or acrylic cases. That's how you had them stored. That was one of the video, or when you and I did the iPhone thing just at the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah, how I store them. Yeah, I do. I always store them in acrylic, as much as I can. I like the way it looks. It keeps it preserved, keeps the smell out. They don't get dusty, all the above. So yeah, I mean, the acrylic gets dusty, but acrylic's so much easier to wipe off, and you're not gonna continually wipe a cardboard and continually, that will damage it over time. It really will.
I kind of have to jokingly say that you're now the second person that's mentioned the dusting thing in our series. I haven't even thought about dusting. And yet the last guy, also from Rhode Island, mentioned dusting and cleaning. You've mentioned it about 3 times tonight, too.
I'm one of those weird guys. I mean,
it's nothing weird about
it. Only weird guys buy big white couches. Like you're a little bit weird, right?
I had a similar one years ago, so I fall into that same category. One of the other things that you showed me was you've got Power of the Force coins. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I have most of the last 17. I'm only missing Yak. I finally got Anakin. I've been taking it really, really slow with getting Yak, looking for I want to get him in a lot one day. I don't know if I'm going to, though.
Now, the coins were an accompaniment to a carded figure.
Power of the Force, yes, but there's also coins that exist that don't accompany figures that were prototype coins, etc. My business partner in the Collector Alliance, he actually has a whole mural set up for all of these coins. I mean, he has Greedo and there's so many coins that exist that you'd be shocked.
Wow.
And these things are worth more than their weight in silver or gold. It's hilarious.
Really?
Like a coin Power of the Force. Yeah, like just a standard, like let's say a Ramba coin is worth $25, $30, which is same. That's what a silver coin is worth, right? But then you get an R2 or a Luke, and that's $50, so it's worth more. And then you get an Agrito, and it's worth hundreds. And you get a yak face coin is up to $1,000, over $1,000 now, $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned Greedo, and I'm kind of looking for my Greedo over here, and I don't see him at the moment. I'm going to see, does he have a coin with him? He's a green fellow, so he should step out real easy.
No mock Greedo came with a coin, but
Okay.
But they did make a coin in addition to. Okay. So yeah, it was kind of like they were going to continue the line, but they stopped it. So there are coins that exist that never made it onto the cards.
And then I think you also mentioned it, but you have a Y-wing that's in a fishnet from, did you say Hungary?
Yes, so it's a Hungarian bootleg, and it's some of the parts were taken from like a Russian piece, like how they assembled this thing, and it's a company called Czech made this, and it looks like Playmobil. It looks like a kid's toy for the bathroom for the tub. And there's only like 3 known right now, sealed. This item is sealed with the net on it. That's how they sealed this item. Yeah, and it's a bootleg, and the Star Wars bootleg world is it's another subcategory of Star Wars collectors that some of them are very eclectic and emotional individuals. It's interesting. I have a number of bootlegs, like the Turkish bootleg, like I have a bunch of Polish bootleg items. I
also saw on one of your videos you had like a silver TIE fighter. What is that about?
Oh yes. Yeah, that's a glass light. That's a Brazilian glasslight TIE fighter. I got that for 2 reasons. One, because my wife is Brazilian, and it has Portuguese on it. And number 2, I think it's by far superior to the Kenner. It's silver and it just looks rad. The wings are awesome. There's no stickers on the wings. And I just think it's a beautiful piece.
How many lightsabers does General Grievous use? 4. I can't wait to see you again for more Star Wars trivia.
I just want to thank everybody for coming on this journey with me through the naturescape we're creating together. The way you paint a tree is you put paint on your brush and you put that brush on the canvas. How do you know when you're finished? Who's that? You can't mess it up. Trees in the stream a little. Oh boy, I'm dripping. When did I get it on the cabin? Hold on. Okay, we can fix this, folks. There's nothing that you can do that you can't undo later. Tornado. You can't mess it up. Who's that? I didn't like that tree anyway. I went to the Louvre once, dab it, smack it, and some of it looked just like this. Am I still in the frame? Art, I think that says something. You know, that could be something. There's nothing that you can do that you can't undo later. Art, the French invented it. Americans perfected it. I have a masterpiece, not unlike this one. I take it to Collector Alliance. What'd you say? Collector Alliance lets me sell all my paintings, all my toys, all my collectibles with no transaction fees. Why don't you smell that paint? For one low monthly subscription, I can sell as much as I want, including gems like this. So check out Collector Alliance today. Hey, who was that?
This is Jack in the Box.
We finally get our box back from CAS.
Me? Poetry?
We don't just spread fun through action figures, we get close and personal with the actors that played these characters.
I'm Nick Joseph, and I played Major Arhul Extrafon.
You were the one that banged his head in that doorway?
Yes, that's me, yes.
And then they dressed me as a Hoth rebel.
Be sure to subscribe and binge watch all of our episodes. Thanks for tuning in to JAK in the Box.
We were at Hollywood James last weekend, and he had, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a blue TIE fighter, and there was something special or unique about that, wasn't there, Jack?
Yeah, he had one of the. It was a Kenner TIE fighter. It was
Battle damaged.
It's TIE fighter.
Yeah, battle damage. Yeah,
I have one of those battle damage TIE fighters. I like the blue TIE fighter. I don't like it when they apply the battle damage stickers on it, though.
I don't stickers like on there. They didn't seem to. They kind of cheapened it, I thought, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't. That the extra stuff, yeah, it's never been my cup of tea. But my battle damage TIE fighter is like my other pieces, where it's a box with the inserts and everything in it, and unused contents stickers are not applied. So the black stickers with the white lines are not even applied to the wings.
Interesting.
Well, speaking of blue, and I just all of a sudden just realized this. See if I can turn this without knocking everything else over. But are those considered the blue ones?
That's basically it, but those are the modern versions. Yep.
Okay.
Similar, very similar. Wait, what? Do you have that giant Leia speeder bike?
Yes.
It's like this big.
The one in the package, that one?
I accidentally just got the biker scout one, right? And the speeder bike, and it just came in one of these collections I bought, and I was like, this thing's so big.
Right. It is. And just below it is Luke Skywalker on the speeder bike.
Oh yeah. So my son, and so they made the biker scout one too. And my son, 3, it's as big as him. And he saw it. He's like, he grabbed it and he just started walking, and he walked all the way upstairs with it. It was like, it's his. So
that's his collect.
No, he's like, oh yeah, I'm taking this, Dad. See ya. It was just so funny, and he was walking up the stairs with this thing like a toddler. Yeah, it was just so. He's just so funny.
Well, before we kind of wrap things up, I've got 2 more questions. But first of all, thank you very much for being with us tonight. Not only was the information that you gave to us very educational, I'm sure a number of our viewers will find it educational as well, but your collection is pretty awesome. I'm very eager to see that video, which I haven't seen yet, of the Darth Vader speeder bike.
Nice. All right.
But Jack, do you have any other questions yourself?
No additional questions on my end, no.
All right, so my closing 2 questions are, get that 57 Chevy turquoise blue Squire out and show me that Lennon-McCartney album again, please.
You want to see that? You want to see the Lennon-McCartney album?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it was funny, before you even lifted it up the first time, I could recognize McCartney right off the bat.
Oh, yeah, with ease.
Very cool. Very cool. So my final question is, you've kind of alluded to it a few times in the video, but I think I want to make it a point to give you an opportunity. Buy, sell, collect. You're obviously in the business. Tell us and our viewers a little bit about what it is that you do.
Yeah, okay, so a multitude of different things.
I love Jedi,
first
obviously.
And foremost, I'm a collector.
Return of the Jedi is my
as
favorite
we all
film.
are. I mean, it has to start off with collecting,
and
regardless.
I would say that
I kind of
majority of my
the
personal
journey of like
collectibles
collecting,
are
going
Return of the
selling
Jedi.
a little bit of too much of what I had and funding my collection, and then having fun doing that with the hunts. And it's just this endless thing. And like you said earlier, partially an obsession, right? And I enjoy it. So like the hunt is so fun, and I'm doing it.
The key word there, the hunt, that keeps coming up, that particular
word. and finding this stuff and just and meeting people and going to different cities and whatever to make this happen it's exhilarating. I enjoy it. Like I thoroughly, I bring my family with me. We went and I found a massive collection in Vegas one time, and we stayed at I was like, hey babe, it's a write-off to stay at hotels. So I'm like, let's stay at a penthouse, at wherever, whatever penthouse, so we get these awesome hotel rooms, splurge on the family, make it fun, take the son to the pool, go get a collection, enjoy it, right? It's like the best. But what's
nothing better than loving what you do.
Yeah. I mean, do it, right? So first and foremost, collector, obsession, buy, sell, trade. Then, there were a lot of groups that I was in the Star Wars realm. And honestly, I'm, like I said, I'm ADHD hyper focused, right? ADHD doesn't mean you're all over the place. It actually means you hyper focus in a lot of respects. And everything else is kind of nonsense to you other than what you're focused on. And you can actually get really agitated when things distract you from what you're focused on. It's really bizarre. I'm just saying this. I don't know if I am or not, but I just, I'm a very peculiar individual. My brain is constantly conjuring up new ideas and things. And it's just, I'm constantly moving, from now I'm thinking about things that I can do and add and to this world or to myself or to my family or invent or whatever, to, late at night. I mean, it's just nonstop. It's a blessing and it's a curse, right? It just never, I just keep going. I keep thinking of things. And, so I've thought of this, I thought of a group, making a group, but in simultaneous to that, I'm like, I reached out to some group admins and I said, hey, you have 20,000 people on your group. Have you ever thought about creating an app and pulling people off of social media? It's, social media is very toxic. And why don't you create your very own app to invite other, we don't want to do that. Okay. And I'm like, really? You don't want to do, I can't believe I even shared it with them, right? It's almost like proprietary at that point. So I'm like, all right. I felt like I could, run a Facebook group and I was starting to buy, sell, trade. And, I saw things differently than some of these other guys. And I was like, well, I'm going to venture off and do my own thing. I'm going solo. Right. So I broke away from the Beatles and I went solo, and my group, it just happened. Our energy, we had the right people to start it up. We run the Vintage Alliance group, and it's its own entity now. We have, I mean, when you compare apples to oranges, like, we have the most fun, we have the best product, we have the best group members, we respect each other. We're opinionated, we're left, we're right, we're liberal, we're Republican, right? We're all over the place. Some of us love metal, some of us love the Beatles, some of us hate metal, it's like, but what really captivates us is the Star Wars stuff, right? Mostly we all like different things. Like, we collect cars and instruments and records, and some people like GI Joes. Everybody collects stuff, and it's not just Star Wars, but I would say our focus is Star Wars as a group. And in the meantime, I was like, well, let's see how this group rolls out. And my gosh, man, I like, the group really supports me. They really lift me up a lot, in energy, and they're really supportive, and they buy, sell, trade. Anybody can buy, sell, trade in the group, not just me. And then I buy, sell, trade, and I do live auctions sometimes, and we say random stuff to each other and post random stuff and support each other, right? And so the next venture is the Collector Alliance app. I've teamed up with a guy. His name is Jared Cope. He built the Star Wars Tracker app, which is basically the NASDAQ for Star Wars. And you can go on his app and verify valuations and market prices and things of that nature. Now, any price guide is a guide. It's not a Bible. You're going to have prices above. You're going to find prices below. It's a guide, but it is data, so you can utilize it, right? So he and I have teamed up to build the Collector Alliance app, and it's for all collectors. You collect watches, purses, records, cars, instruments. We really want it to be for collectors as a whole. So we allow people to buy, sell, trade on this app. It's subscription based, $9.99 a month. For any collector. And the reason why we decided to do a subscription base is we see eBay and auction houses charging 10, 20, 30, 40% to the buyers, right? And even on eBay, some people say, well, I'm not paying. And it's like, no, you are paying as the buyer. If you buy $100 item, $15 of that is going directly to
buried
eBay.
Right into the price.
So we're eliminating, dude, we are this guy of the collector industry. We're thinking power to the people. We're thinking subscription based. We are building a business. Yes, this is a business, and we are going to run it professionally as a business, and we love it. But we also believe that the subscription is an immediate roadblock to anybody who wants to scam, who wants to get in there and either undersell or oversell. I think it puts up fences and policies right away, where if somebody's like, I'm in there to take advantage of people, they're like, well, I'm not going to pay $9.99 to take advantage of people. So we have those fences, which Facebook doesn't have, eBay doesn't have, auction houses don't even have. So we just have this fence of an entrance fee, right? Like, you want to be part of the party, it's $9.99, very nominal. And if you're a serious collector and you spend more than a few $100 a year, it pays for itself.
Great.
So
great.
We're excited, man.
Fantastic. Once again, thank you very much for spending your time with us, your collection with us, and your information. It was quite educational. I learned a lot, and that's always a good thing.
Jim, you're awesome. I like Josh a lot, and yeah, I like that you guys are teaming up. I think this is awesome, man. Where in Cali are you from again?
Thousand Oaks.
Okay, gotcha. I lived, the Oakwoods, right? The famous Oakwoods. I lived there for about a year.
Wow.
We were signed to Maverick Records. Yeah.
Fantastic.
What did they call it? The Cokewoods?
Something like that. In its day.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. You're not too far from everything, man. Viper Room is my favorite venue to play at, by the way.
Really? Down in Hollywood. Yeah. We were just down in Hollywood last Sunday, me and Jack, and we hit Sunset Boulevard. We interviewed a fellow, call him Hollywood James. And as you came off Laurel Canyon, you made a left there onto Sunset. There was the comedy shop or the comedy store. And it just made me think of Gazzari's and all of those old rock and roll places, and half of them probably aren't even there anymore.
Wow.
I remember back in the 80s going there and hunting down all these places. Do you ever listen to K-Rock radio?
I know K-Rock, yeah.
The original K-Rock. The original.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still there, but music these days is considerably different. I mean, Freddie Snakeskin, Dusty Street, Jed the Fish, all of those original guys. And it was that crazy, I don't want to call it outlaw radio, but it was so radical and extreme, and they played all that cool 80s music, and that's where I'm from.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just reminds me of that Hollywood of that era.
Yeah, dude. Well, when we got signed, I was like, Hollywood isn't it already lost its luster, really. I mean, it was cool to be able to play Troubadour, and
Troubadour,
Rainbow Room and
Rainbow
places. Like, I mean, dude, the Mint. I played the Mint a ton. You know, and I have memories at those places, but it's just like they used to be happening by themselves. Those venues used to be happening by themselves. Now you have to make it happen there, and then once it's done, it's done. And that's the unfortunate thing. It'd be cool if those places were just still happening by themselves. They just don't. They're not doing what they were doing back in the 80s, probably early 90s too. It's just unfortunate.
I saw In a Big Country at the Palladium. I'm trying to think of the other one that I saw at the Palace, the Crazy Guys, and I can't think of their name of their band at the moment, but all of those great places back in the early 80s, and of course anything prior. I got the fortunate chance to be at the very tail end of Van Nuys Boulevard, cruising on Van Nuys Boulevard before they shut it down.
Wow.
None of that stuff's in LA anymore. It's just all crazy people. You know, what do they say? The country's built on an angle and all the loose nuts roll into LA.
Haven't heard that one.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody's trying to be a Kardashian right now.
Oh God.
It's like, please.
Times have changed. But I do kind of want to wrap this up again. James, thank you very much. Great collection, really good information. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool, man. All right. Well, I enjoyed
Absolutely.
it too. This was
and
fun.
Before we actually sign off, I just want to remind everyone, if you do want to comment down below, ask James a question about his collection, or he even talked about taking some MOC stuff and giving you some loose stuff. So if you want to arrange all that, you can do that in the comments below. Obviously, subscribe to this channel, give us a like, do all the little things that they ask you to do on YouTube. Help us spread the fun. James, again, thank you so much for your time and sharing this collection, sharing your thoughts and ideas. I always like to end, may the force be with you.
See you guys. All right.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night.